Okay. Hello, hello. Okay, so basically, I think first I have to explain something, because usually my streams, at least for the past few weeks, it's been, let me, if I can, okay, so basically just an explanation. In the past 12 weeks, I've been streaming, also thinking about it. 12 weeks, almost, also really nice. But anyway, I've been streaming, I've been trying to build a product, like a SaaS, software as a service. And the idea was that I had a service in mind that we thought that it would be nice to help people generate blog posts, people who like they have some expertise, they want to share some stuff, and so but I mean, along the way I also learned many stuff regarding the marketing, regarding how to understand if the idea is good, and also, of course, I haven't learned everything. I just those were just above the iceberg, of course, but it was nonetheless pretty fun, pretty new for me personally, and also just gave me another, it felt like entering, like, or like being in touch with another domain, or like another world in a sense. But today, at the moment, related to my service, of course, it's not fully built, and it still needs more time so that we develop it and it becomes mature enough. And also, we realize that there's so much problem regarding marketing. And I mean, the good thing is that personally I didn't really put much of a time, and I've been like learning stuff related to marketing, related to what is even important, how to find people, and so. And during this time, my general understanding is that we can put a hold on this for now, and I will probably discuss it in another video or something related to what I've learned, and different topics that I came across. But in the end, the short version, I might change the usual things. Instead of like developing my SaaS on the stream, I might do other stuff. It will probably come back to a SaaS later on, but there's a chance that it's not this one, because there's a lot of problem with finding customers and like having an actual conversation. and I will probably move to another another SaaS and try to develop that, because I feel like that's easier to have a customer conversation. I will tell you maybe another stream or another video, but anyway, that was the first introduction that I wanted to make. And today specifically though, this would be related to me writing a blog post related to fine-tuning an LLM. And let me close this. And I already created just a boilerplate website. Just as a disclaimer, I also created it using Hugo and a Rusty typewriter theme. So I just looked around. I think Hugo makes website creation. It was relatively easy, to be honest, and also integration with this theme was relatively easy. I again probably make another video on how I created this blog post. And so far we have this state here, and the idea is just a simple blog post, blog website, sorry. And through that I will share what I learned. Mainly my learnings come from work. At the moment I'm a student. As a working student, I'm working at NHR. Yeah, it's basically the supercomputer organization in Germany, and basically it's funded throughout the government, and there are basically 9 centers in Germany. I'm not sure if I can find the thing. Yeah, but there are 9 centers, and I am involved in the one in Erlangen. Erlangen is basically 2 hours drive from Munich, and in any case, this is the place, or like the organization that I'm at the moment working in, and also many topics that I will be writing in my blog would be related to these sort of topics. So AI, Linux, containerization like Docker and Apptainer, and also LLMs, fine-tuning, and these sort of things. And today specifically I want to start writing about fine-tuning, or like simpler than that, maybe just installing Axolotl on a HPC environment. And I would get into details in a bit, but in general this would be like the first blog post. And at the moment I also have the domain name. It's also this. I will also paste it in chat. Also, let me type something that drop a hi if you joined. Feel free to ask me what am I working on. And let me also pin this, and of this right temporary domain for the blog. you have a few ones. Okay, so this is also I also shared the URL, so if you want to have a look, feel free. And also I would really appreciate if you could give me some feedbacks. I mean, in general, any thoughts that you had. But in any case, this is the current state, and my idea is that throughout the months or years, this blog would be like a portfolio. I've already seen a couple of, many people that are kind of like an idol, like in this, in the technical aspect, or like this sort of things. I look up to them, and they also sometimes have a blog and also share some posts every now and then. And I also thought that this would be actually really nice to complement it with my YouTube channel. At the moment, my YouTube channel is just purely most of the content is streams from the past weeks, but I've already created some videos, and I already have some ideas for the next upcoming ones, and a blog website would kind of complement YouTube channel, I would say, because most of the topics that I would like to talk about in my YouTube channel, I also can write a blog post about it. So in general, this can be I could also complement the YouTube channel with a blog website, so that it's easier, or like there's actually more reach, and it also has better creates a better portfolio, I would say. Yeah, so that's also the idea that I'm gonna go with. I mean, in the past months, I also started a couple of different things. For example, this private kernel, the service that we had in mind, but at the moment I will put a pause on this. And also, other than that, the YouTube channel, that I couldn't really create videos as consistently as I had in mind. But in any case, it's been going forward slow, but relatively okay, I would say. In general, I'm happy with it. I hope that I can also keep the same consistency with the blog posts. I try to keep the posts short. At least that's my first thought. Like I try to keep them short, but we'll see. And yeah, also to show you the structure of the code base. Basically, I think if you check out Hugo, there should be some explanation. Yeah, for example, on Linux, where's the installation? Yeah, I just ran the apt install, and then I think if you want to create a website, or like the files for the website, it's just one command. I think Hugo init or something. Getting started. Yeah, after installation, just Hugo new website, and then it just automatically creates the files here. I will make another video about how to create a blog post, and I make another YouTube video how to create your blog website, and if you're interested, you can check it out. But in general, this is basically all the files, and the posts, for example, they live under posts. For example, in my case, post/first post, and they're basically just markdown files, and then this would get rendered in the browser, or like this would be the visualization after rendering the markdown. But in general, this would be just editing raw markdown file and creating a post. At the moment, this is the workflow, and yeah. So specifically today, I want to talk about. Let me also start. So new folder. I think this would be Axolotl installation. And okay, so the name of the folder would be the URL actually. Okay, so yeah, we'll think about the name later, but I think at the moment Axolotl installation on HPC. And I have something similar. Up to install Axolotl on HPC environment, and then the date would be it's January 4th, and then fall for the draft. Also okay. Let me use the typewriter. Okay, I know that there is more configuration related to the web pages. I have featured true, for example, here. There's title, there's date, there's tags, there's topics, there's value. My featured true. Okay, so at the moment I just the first post I want to also make it a feature. I'm not sure if it works like this, but okay. And then also demo showcase. Okay, okay, so just as a Okay, so the installation. Okay, so there were many parts, at least as far as I remember. Let me put down introduction, and then let's say paragraph. Okay, so first of all would be introduction. We write about why Axolotl, but also I think probably talking about, yeah, we talk about Axolotl and why it's used. Also, let me also, if you don't know it, Axolotl is used for basically fine-tuning LLMs, and you basically prepare a data set. For example, if it's, I don't know, related to using a tool calls or like these instruction data sets or anything. You prepare these data sets and then you basically say, this is my data set, this is the fine-tuning parameters like your optimizer, these sort of things, and you pointed out your data set and then you say train this, fine-tune this model like this LLM, and then it just does it for you, and it's surprisingly really clean. Regarding the training part, I think everything is well documented and well prepared, but the main problem that I had personally was the installation, so this is why we are doing this. So first we just talk about when it Axolotl and why it's used, and then why you might wanna. Also on very top, I would like to have a TLDR that use containerization solutions if you, instead of installing Axolotl. So basically the whole point of this blog post now is you have to just tell them that okay, let me put it this way. If someone would come to me and ask, hey, do you know how should I install Axolotl? If my current understanding, I would say that you should not. Instead, you should look for containerization solutions instead of installing Axolotl. And then I mentioned like Docker or Apptainer. So Apptainer is also containerization containerization solution that's specific, like tailored for HPC. So on HPC systems you don't have Docker, there's only Apptainer, at least in the HPC environment that I work in, and also I think it's a really common practice, so like best practice, because Docker has some problems with root access, and even though if you enable the rootless feature in Docker, or like use Docker in a rootless way in a system like HPC that is usually maybe hundreds or thousands of users registered or like logged in, Docker management would be like a really bad solution. So Docker doesn't really fit on HPC, and I will also try to write something about it. Basically, this would be the whole point of this blog. So if someone wants to just get the gist of the blog post, this is the one-liner kind of. And then we talk about Axolotl and why it's used. I told you that, for example, it's open source LLM fine-tuning framework, and then let me also talk about the installation approaches, or like installation possibilities, like approaches, and then I would just start with containerized, and I talk about what worked for me. Then I can maybe talk about the Apptainer on HPC, and also Docker, which I think will be like easier for people to figure out. And then I think this is basically it. So if you want to install it, you should know that the it's better not to install it directly, and I can also talk about the pip or conda. One, two. So okay, this would be installation possibilities, containerized, and for example, this would be the Apptainer. That's Apptainer on HPC and Docker. Also, we have pip or conda, which personally it was a really pain. And what else? And maybe I also, it's not really related to installation. Binding. I think it's not really binding resources. I'm not sure if I should put it here. It's basically binding resources is when you say you tell the tool, for example Apptainer or Docker, to take these folders into the running container. So basically the container would have access to the resources available, for example file system, like folders, like datasets or anything. I could also mention it a little bit here, but I don't really see how it fits to installation of Axolotl, but we'll think about it later. Okay, so the introduction. I think in general this would be a pretty really specific, but also relatively short blog post. But in any case, so introduction to Axolotl, I would say know this, but Axolotl is, and then I want to have a quote block here. Okay, I will ask how to have a quote block in Markdown and let's see. This can span multiple lines. Okay. Okay, so basically, I just want to quote the if I can put it as documentation. That's it. Is the free source and open source, the free and open source LLM fine-tuning framework. And my use case was to fine-tune. In general, I also have to keep in mind when I write a blog post, I have to give as much information as possible. So it's like leave very small room for imagination. I try to, for example, say that's why I even wanted to do something with Axolotl. So what was the LLM that I wanted to fine tune? What was the reason that I wanted to install it? So I hope that this context will kind of help and make the blog post a bit more unique. And after all, that's the reason I want to start writing this blog post, to just have very specific and niche use cases, or like blog posts that explain something specific, and I try to like have as many details as possible. So my main use case was to fine-tune. For that I have to check what was the name. I think it was Llama. Yeah, I already have it. 3.2. Yeah, this was the model that I wanted to fine-tune this. And we also shared the link. Yeah. And I wanted to my main use case was to fine-tune Llama 3.23b on generated, like, how do you write synthesized? Synthesized slash generated tool calling dataset. The environment I was working on was resources, this was in a HPC environment provided by HR at FAU. Same environment provided by, yeah, and then I also Hi Nico, how's it going? At the moment I'm trying to write a blog post. I recently fine-tuned Llama 3.23b on a HPC cluster, and for that I had to install Axolotl, basically this fine-tuning framework. And installing it for me was a really pain in the neck, and I was trying to install it using pip or like conda environments or almost every solution that I could find, and it didn't work. It just ran into some problems, or just the build would fail for whatever reason. And then as a last resort I tried the Apptainer, which is basically the Docker version on HPC systems. So I tried Apptainer, and like there was no need for installation, of course, and I was able to actually fine-tune the model. So in this blog post that I want to write now is just going over the details, what worked, what was the problem, and I also just describe what happened to me personally, like what did I want to do with it, what was the installation approach that I took, and also talk about the Apptainer, Docker, like for example also the pip or conda that I tried but it didn't work. So basically I will just writing the blog post here, and in the meantime I'll also talk about it, like the personal things that happened to me, and also I mentioned, for example, what's Apptainer, what's, I don't know, Axolotl, and these sort of things. So in general, I also make some commentary here and there regarding the blog post. Yeah, but that's a whole idea. Yeah, and also just to mention, the reason that I started to write a blog post, or like started with blogging in general, is to create a personal portfolio. So I will try it for a bit and see how I like it, or if it's like fit for me or not. Dope. I haven't heard of Axolotl. Have you tried UV as an alternative to pip? Yes, I think. Yeah, actually, I'm pretty impressed by UV in general. Also, I will write it here. It was also like for other use cases, it's pretty fast, and I really like it as an alternative. But the problem was none of these worked for me on the HPC system. So pip, conda, or UV, all of them would just fail, and the problem will still be there. I mean, I might also took some screenshots, not sure. But yeah, UV also like didn't help. So I had to like the only solution, like the last solution that I tried was this containerization and Apptainer, and that was what worked for me. Yeah, but in any case, it was always running into build failures, I think. I mean, at least what I read online is because most of the time the CUDA drivers for GPU, or like the, I don't know, the Python environment, the Torch library, like the PyTorch library, these things have to have a specific builds, or like a specific versions, and I try to install them and try to different orders of installation, but in the end, like all of them ran into a problem, except the container solution, this Apptainer. And also this Apptainer, again, it's just an alternative to Docker for HPC systems. This high performance computing stuff. And for example, if you're working with if you're working in an environment that has Docker, you can also, of course, use Docker. Do you have any other models you have worked on, and is it primarily LLM? If by models you mean like, for example, deep neural networks and these sort of things, for example, I don't know, what was the name? This image processing and so. No, I have not really worked with them. Mainly, I would say recently my work is really like revolves around LLMs. But may I also ask, what do you work on? Do you also work with LLMs or what? CNN. Yeah, CNN. Oh, I see. And is it your work, or is it for your studies, if I may ask? And no, unfortunately, no image models yet. I mean, oh, pretty cool. May I ask, what do you study? I think in general my personal experience with image models was, it's really not that much. Oh wow, pretty cool. Cybersecurity, nice. Yeah, I don't know what to say, to be honest. Yeah, my experience is not that much with the image stuff, but there's I mean, probably I've also found it a bit boring, at least for my studies, so I didn't really got into them. Primarily, what interests me is real-time detection, but it's practically not feasible. But why is it not feasible? Is it because you need real-time detection on edge devices, or what's the bottleneck in general for not being feasible? Also, I will add here, mention, I tried with different AI models. Assistants, I think it's Claude and Gemini. So basically, when I wanted to also solve the problem, I mean installing the Axolotl, yeah, I also asked like 4 AI assistants. So solutions that they gave me also were just simple like vanilla pip installation, of course with different variations, for example conda, UV and these sort of things, but also it did not work. And I will write about the installation and version P. Not just face detection, I'm some more of a 3-step pipeline, so detection, processing it, and comparing to Gen network. But there's real-time real-time detection that you are talking about. I mean, which part of it is the main problem? Is it the computation on the edge devices? For example, if you're in a car and then I don't know, you see something and you want to like process it in real time. I think at the moment in the cars they also are doing real-time processing, right? Or maybe that's with LiDAR. Is that the right thing? Maybe in cars it's with LiDAR sensors. Is the internet is not indexed by facial structure? Okay. Here, in the meantime, I will look up these things. Face recognition search engine. Oh wow. I didn't know that such thing exists. Wow. Find the face and check where the image appears online. It's also really creepy if you ask me. Like, you have a picture of someone and then you can get all the pictures online from them. Oh, yeah, nice. Also this part is really nice. I mean, finding your pictures and also realizing, like, finding out where it is. Nice. And what's this? Ah, yeah. Yeah, it's creepy, but I mean, this part is makes it a bit nice, I would say. I mean, just you can find what's the random picture that people might find online. Because, for example, imagine you're walking in a street and then a tourist is taking a picture and then you're in the background. Oh, yeah, crazy. Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, actually, I do have GitHub. One second. You can find it on my blog website. Oh wow. Okay, copy link. How can I? Oh yeah. Okay, there you go. Oh wow, thank you so much. Thank you for the support. Yeah, I try to do also the same stuff as well every week. So I'm looking forward to seeing you. All right, perfect. Yeah, but yeah, it's really crazy. Nice. Yeah, okay. Um, Generated tools, yeah. It is the HPC environment and provided by NHRFAU. Okay. And okay, so this is the introduction. Okay, installation possibilities. Okay, I can write about I can talk about that. There are two main approaches for installing Axolotl in the system. Systems. Should be pip conda uv. So basically I want to talk about the two approaches for installing Axolotl. And first I go with containerization, Apptainer, first Apptainer on HPC. If you're working in HPC environments or system that is managed with Slurm, yeah, but Slurm job manager. Slurm is used in more than half of the top 10 and top 1000 systems in the top 500 systems. It's funny because I thought Slurm is the almost like the only solution that they are using it on HPC systems. What are the alternative to Slurm? Modern HPC cluster management. Each task runs in a container that is isolated from other workers on the same node. Every workload can run in a fully customizable environment. The mesh is To be honest, it's really interesting. I thought that Slurm, this job management for HPC systems, are basically the default. Like there is no other alternative there, but yeah, interesting. Interesting. Okay. Okay, then a system that is managed with Slurm job management, it's most likely that there is no port for Docker. Container is the, they call it de facto, the containerization solution on HPC. Below is the command that you can use to download the .zip file and run it as a container. Okay, and now I want to find the code. Okay, I have to add it here later. Add the for downloading Apptainer. Okay. Okay, so next time I will bring the code here to just how to pull the image expensive. And then I will add it here next time. And then for Docker, if you're on a more if the Docker is available on your system, easily pull the image, paste down the documentation, instructions, and installation. I think there should be Docker. And okay, so the Docker instruction is also done. Give me hours. Trying different ones. GPT, Grok, Gemini, Code. For example, installing Torch before flash tension and pinning versions of CUDA, Python, Torch, and so on. this way, and I do my best to avoid installing with and directly look for in my honest opinion, you should not do this. You should not install it auto this way in the future. Should best avoid installing spaghetti with Python. And I will directly look for containerizations. So basically, the lesson learned was that try to find the container. Try to go the container approach. Try to find if you can do it with Docker or Apptainer. Cloud Gemini, Wrting installation and version. Okay, and okay, so this is the this is the first draft, but nonetheless I publish it. Also do to do here like this. Git sites, git installation, Axolotl installation post and push. So basically, when I make changes here in the files, like the markdown files, this will trigger the GitHub action on my repository, and then this will build the packages, or sorry, build the Docker image, and on my VPS, I check every 5 minutes whether there was a new package, new image built. So I push it on my repo. The GitHub action will run through, creates an image. Every 5 minutes I check with the GitHub container registry whether there were new images built or not, and if there were new images, I will just pull it, and then basically there are also all my files, all my posts integrated, of course, in the image. And since this is a static website, the blog website, it's static, and the files can all be rendered during the build process. Let me also check. So at the moment, it did not pull it yet, but I think in 1 or 2 minutes it will pull the new image, and then we will be able to see the updates on the website. So in the meantime, I will close this. Yeah. Now it says that found new GitHub container registry file, and then it just updated it. And then if I go to, I also have to change the change the homepage URL. We can do it. Goes on. The base URL would be HTTPS. Okay, perfect. commit-m update base URL version. Okay, it's also updated, and we also have the featured posts here, and then okay. Also, of course, the links work. I kind of preferred that when I clicked it, the links would open in a new tab. Okay. But in any case, the post is half done. I mean, next time I will finish it, and also I'm thinking to share it and Medium, to be honest. So yeah, I will also try to share it on Medium for more exposure. But in any case, I think so far it was a good stream, and next time I will follow more. To be honest, now that I'm working on writing, and maybe it doesn't need much energy, maybe I increase the amount of streams or the number of streams in a week. But so far I'm not sure. Let's keep it the same volume, once per week. And yeah, thank you again for everyone who joined. Also, we had an interesting chat with one of the viewers, And next time we try to just complete the stuff and move forward. Oh wow, Jay. Hi. How are you doing? How are things with you? How is it going? Also, today we changed things a bit here. I started a blog website, and then today we wrote down, I think, the first blog post. And yeah, the idea is to create an online portfolio for myself, so basically sharing stuff as a complement to the YouTube channel. So I will be and this was the first post. I think you can, yeah, so this is the post that we wrote today, and it's basically just how to install Axolotl on HPC environment. So if you're into fine-tuning LLM models, this, for me, it was a pain point. I had to install it, and yeah, I just wrote like 70% of the blog post that's sharing what to do if you want to do it, or like what not to do if you want to do it. Yeah, in general, we'll continue next time. Yeah, basically I changed the approach this time. I mean, we were doing something else other than developing the SaaS that we've been doing other weeks. So I started with creating a blog website I mean, not developing it really. I just used the Hugo and this typewriter. If you want to check it out, here are the links. But in general, I created the website, like the blog post, and this is also my blog website, so if you want to check it out. And today we wrote the first blog post. That's basically it. I mean, almost wrote the first one, because there's some commands and some codes I have to add later, but I will do it next time. Okay, I'll also be right back. send it in the Discord if it's okay. Nice. Let's see. Oh wow. WSAD, flight control, shift is throttle. Oh wow. It's really cool. To be honest, it's really fun. Oh wow, it's really crazy. How do you build this? Use A and Q. 1 second. A and Q and E. Moving. Whoa, whoa, whoa. One second. Okay, use Q and E for moving left and right. Yeah, I'm not used to this. I'm not used to the controls. Ay. I'm used to the GTA controls. Good to know, good to know. Did you write it yourself? It's really impressive. Almost there. Almost there. Shit. Yeah, it's really fun. Nice. Let me check the other one. Tutorial. Around flight, the professor. Pay flight. Synergy terminal. Okay, how's this then? Oh, whoa. What's the control for this one? Oh wow. That's for the quiz. Yeah. And how should I go forward? Nice. Both of them were fun. The plain one was the one that I really liked. But good job. Really nice. Impressive. Okay, I think I will keep the stream at the current state. And yeah, thank you, Jay, for the games. It was really fun. And today we also wrote down the blog post. And next time we complete it. Alright, have a good night. Bye bye. I will also end the stream here. Then have a good day, have a good night. And I will see you next week or next time. Alright, take care everyone. Bye bye.